Morning all. Well, it's a cracking day in Melbourne this morning. I hope you've all been making the most of it and getting out and getting some movement into your morning. This week's weekly wrap-up, we're going to cover a few things that we've spoken about during the week. One was rotating running shoes, and the second was on Achilles tendons and the fear of them snapping. So we'll start on the rotating running shoes, and it got a bit of a few comments on social media, especially from the partners of those that own perhaps a few running shoes. And thanks to my own wife for chipping in there. But basically, what that was, the post was, and the blog was written about the benefits of having multiple pairs of running shoes. And this goes back to a 2013 study done by Malisu, and what they found was that runners that had more than one pair of running shoes, so they rotated through their shoes, had a 39% reduction in injury risk. Now that there's a couple of reasons why that can be the case, and it is something that we often advise our runners is to have multiple pairs of shoes. Now, running is so repetitive, and we've spoken about before in our blog and also about some posts on different running surfaces and mixing things up, because running is so repetitive, so it makes sense wherever possible to add some variety into the mix there, and shoe wear is a really good way to do that. So what that might look like is that you might do some of your longer, easier runs with more a structured shoe, so something with a little bit more cushioning, and then with your faster running you might have a less structured shoe, so less cushioning, less in the midsole there, a bit more flexibility in through that, and so that adds a bit more variety. It gets your feet working, gets those muscles working in different ways. The other reason why also having multiple pairs of running shoes can benefit, and this is especially for those that run most days of the week, is that the foam after the running, the foam does compress, and so by having a pair, so if you've worn your runners the day before, it generally allows more than 24 hours for that foam to rebound and get its ideal force absorption and input back again. So having another pair of shoes actually then allows you to give the shoes a day off, essentially. So a couple of benefits there. So and that was where the partners chimed in, because we've got many runners out there, and myself included, that have got quite a selection of shoes that we will rotate through, and probably not the best at retiring some of them. So that was the first thing. The next one that we were going to talk about was Achilles tendons, and one of the things that we see with the patients that come in with Achilles tendinopathy is that there's a fear of it snapping. They're fearful of, oh look, I don't really want to do exercise, I don't want to run because I'm fearful of things breaking. And there's a couple of studies that have looked into this, and one earlier study for a few decades ago now found that there was quite a high risk of 20% risk of rupture. So that's the Achilles tendon snapping in those with Achilles tendinopathy. But a more recent study by Yasui actually found that this was much lower, and this is actually at 4%. So, and this is generally what we found in our experiences, and actually, touch wood, we haven't had any of our Achilles tendon patients that have gone on to rupture. But we tend to find that it is, very, very, very low risk of rupture. So this is something that we tend to reassure our patients when they come in with Achilles tendinopathy, that it is a very low risk of something happening, and it's actually really important that they properly rehabilitate and strengthen. And in our experience, actually, those that have ruptured, so that if you come in to see us after they've ruptured there, they generally didn't have many symptoms beforehand, and a possible theory there is that if there's no real warning signs around the tendon to tell you that something's not right, then there might be a higher risk of injury. So we're not aware of any studies that have looked into this, but it's something that we've sort of found in our experiences, that those that have often had a rupture haven't had any symptoms. They've been running around or doing whatever, and then they all of a sudden pop. Whereas those that do have that pain, perhaps it's the body's way of warning and restricting you from doing too much on it there. So a couple of posts that we've had during the week there. As usual, we'll put the posts, the links below in our Facebook post after this video. And if there's any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll catch you on next weekend. See you, everyone.